Good morning, students. I myself Divakar Pandey from KUNTI NAGAR Modern English School, NAWADA. And welcome to you in your e-learning class. Today I am going to provide you my next video lecture, and this is the fifth video lecture of lesson 4, and topic is air. In my previous video I have already discussed you about winds and its kinds. I have already discussed you that there are three types of winds: permanent winds, local winds, and seasonal winds. So now we come to about permanent winds. The winds that blow from the permanent high pressure belts. It means those winds that blow from the permanent high pressure belts towards the permanent low pressure belts maintain their directions of flow throughout the year. They are called permanent, prevailing, or planetary winds. Due to the rotation of the earth, these winds are deflected to the right of their paths in the northern hemisphere and to the left of their paths in the southern hemisphere. So like this, we can say the winds blowing towards the equator are deflected towards the west, and the winds blowing towards the poles are deflected towards the east. So these are the permanent winds. There are three types of permanent winds: the trade winds, the westerlies, and the polar winds. Now we come to trade winds. Yes, permanent winds are also called trade winds. We should always remember. So now we come to, first of all, trade winds. The trade winds blow from the subtropical high pressure belts to the equilateral, it means equatorial low pressure belt. So from which belt to which belt trade winds blow? The trade winds blow from the subtropical high pressure belts to the equatorial low pressure belt. Winds are named after their directions from which they blow. We should always remember. In the northern hemisphere, the trade winds blow from the northeast and are known as the northeast trade winds. And when we study about southern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere they blow from the southwest and are known as the southeast trade winds. The trade winds blow with great regularity. And now we come to westerlies. What is westerlies? What are westerlies? The winds blowing from the subtropical high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts are known as the westerlies. Students, care on this matter. The winds blowing from the subtropical high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts are known as the westerlies, as they blow from a somewhat westerly direction in the both the hemisphere. The westerlies blow from the southwest in the northern hemisphere and from the northwest in the southern hemisphere. So we always keep in this mind. Since these winds originate in the warm tropical regions and blow towards cooler regions, they are expressed as warm winds. They are not, however, as regular as the trade winds. So these are called westerlies. And now we come to polar winds. Yes, what are polar winds? The polar winds are those winds that blow from the polar high pressure belts to the subpolar lower pressure belts. They are also known as the polar easterlies. Why do you know? Because they blow from a somewhat easterly direction. Now we come to the next thing. They blow from the northeast in the northern hemisphere and from the southeast in the southern hemisphere. So these are called polar winds. Since these winds originate in the polar regions, so they are extremely cold. As we have studied about the distance from equator to the pole. Now we come to the local winds. What are local winds? Winds that arise due to local or regional changes in the temperature or pressure are known as local winds. What are local winds? Local winds are those winds that arise due to local or regional changes in temperature or pressure. What is the effect of local winds? They affect a small areas for short periods of time. Some local winds like land and sea breezes, it means sea breeze and monsoons, are periodic. So these are called local winds. It means those winds that blow according to season, like monsoon wind, these are called local winds. And these winds blow always for a fixed period, which may be a day or a season. They blow in a particular direction.